What's going on, everybody? So here in Orlando at Playlist Live, got all my gear here, about to go shoot a collab with Steph Frosch, also known as ELLO STEPH. She got a suite, so we're about to check it out, see how fancy it is. Let's do it. Housekeeping! Hey!
It's so cold.
I know, it's cold in every place.
Oh, I should flip it up so we can see our lovely faces.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and I have a special guest today.
It's your girl, Steph.
So, I want to have Steph on the channel for multiple reasons, but the number one reason is that we became really good friends in the last year. We met here at Playlist last year, right? So 2017. How did we actually officially meet? Like, did you saw?
Oh, it was at the Harry Potter World during that show thing that was going on. I was fangirling. I tried talking to you several times. I did say hi to you twice. You didn't remember. And then we became friends. When we found out, I was like, I'm a big fan.
And you're a big gay. So
big homo.
That helps too. And since then, like, we've seen each other at VidCon. We saw each other at Playlist DC. At the Shorty Awards just like 2 weeks ago or whatever. Whenever I'm in LA, I would go visit you.
We got Chipotle.
Yes, we got Chipotle.
And you also saw me in New York.
Yes, exactly. I want to have Steph on the channel today because I want to talk about how sometimes what your plan in life is can kind of like shift and transition, for, you know, puns there, can kind of transition. And so sometimes you have, you know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna graduate and I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna have kids and a dog and a car or whatever, all this other shit, right? And it doesn't usually work out that way.
No.
And so Steph has an interesting story because Steph kind of started in LA and now you're traveling. We started in Florida, right? Yeah, but we'll
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
So you're going like over 2,000 miles. You're moving from LA to New York City to go to NYU and get your fucking PhD.
That's the goal.
Which is super smart. I actually went to college for 5 semesters, dropped out, went back, dropped out again. So I'm a college dropout. Twice, 2 times.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. We were saying, like, you started a YouTube channel, then you got picked up by BuzzFeed, then you dropped BuzzFeed, did your own thing again, and now you're like a lot of people watching this would be like, wait a second. Not that you're pausing your YouTube by any means, but you're gonna have to focus a lot on getting your PhD.
Yeah.
Some people would be like, wait a second. You're like, at Playlist Live, you go to VidCon, you're like mad popular on YouTube, you have this whole following, and you're like, not dip setting, but you're leaving to go to college? Like, what? You know what I mean? So I love to kind of just like back it up, tell a little bit about the YouTube BuzzFeed, and then jump into why you're making this transition and kind of the feelings you're having around it.
Well, when I started my BuzzFeed, when I started my YouTube channel, it was actually when I was getting my undergrad. And I did it almost like as a hobby, and it just blew up. And I really loved it because I had my school, I had my life, and I did YouTube for fun. There was no pressure on it. And then when I was debating between going to grad school or moving to LA after I finished undergrad, I chose to move to LA and try YouTube because I was like, when else would I get the time to do this?
Or the opportunity.
And then BuzzFeed hit me up about how they wanted to add me to their diversity team. And then when they were like, we're not doing diversity anymore, I left BuzzFeed and started doing my own stuff again. But I noticed when I moved to LA, there was almost this switch into how much I loved YouTube because I loved it so much. And then when it becomes your whole life and you depend on it to make a living and all these other pressures, I learned to resent it.
Because like at first you were doing it for fun, and it was just super low key, and it just had this really organic feel, and then it was like, oh great, like now I have to do this and I have to do that. Yeah, no, totally. It becomes more of a responsibility, and not to say it's a business, but it's a responsibility. You know what I mean?
And it also made me like always nervous about making videos to the point where I was too nervous to even like make videos sometimes. And I mean, it's not that I'm leaving YouTube. Because my major, I mean, I'm doing what I love, which is social change and activism.
What is your major exactly?
Educational theater in colleges and communities with a focus in applied theater, which is fancy talk for social change.
Okay, that's the longest thing I've ever heard.
Sorry.
But it's okay, it works. And they offer PhDs in this.
Yeah, NYU
cool.
has the master's, which I'm going for, and then they have a PhD that follows in the same thing.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What light bulb went off in your head when you're doing YouTube and you have such a great following and like people are vibing you? Like, what made you say like, okay, you know what? Like, something isn't serving me the way I want it to, and I need to make a choice in my life, even though it is drastic. You're moving from one side of the country to over 2,000 miles away. And I mean, LA's a big city, but New York is that LA in like this much of a radius. You know what I mean? What made you make that choice, and like, were you scared to make that choice?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a huge decision, and my biggest thing is I was so afraid of making the wrong choice. But then I had to remember, you know, I'm in my 20s, this is when you're supposed to make mistakes. And a big thing I noticed was I took the chance and moved to LA. I didn't know how that would end up. Overall, LA never felt like home for me, although I'm really grateful for the opportunities and friends I've made there. But I realized that it just didn't fit me. And with New York, when I would be afraid, I was like, okay, well, I already tried that with LA. That didn't feel like home. Worst comes to worst, it's another thing like that. But so far, I feel really good.
You've only been there like 3 weeks?
Yeah, but it already feels so much better.
I went to her place and I saw it like bare, and I've been watching.
Now.
Yeah, if you follow her stories on Instagram, I've been seeing like you put up your TV.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, okay, but it's okay. Your TV is up. I did see you build. You got your mask on. I like that. You know what I mean? But like being really scared, I think that's a really common thing. Is like taking the leap of faith. Yeah. Right. And like, this isn't just like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and start a new job. This is like, I'm gonna take something that's really flourishing. I'm gonna not put a pause on it, but I mean, if you're gonna get your master's and then your PhD, like, you're gonna have to study. Like, there's gonna be some shit you gotta do.
But at the same time, the things that I'm doing, it's what I'm passionate about, so I'm gonna make more videos about, I feel. Because when I was getting, I have to sneeze.
Get it in.
Bless you.
Thank you. When I was getting my BFA, which is an extremely time-consuming degree, I still was able to make YouTube videos because it was my release, it was my fun time. So I feel like it'll almost be better that YouTube will become my release, my creative thing, because back in the day, I didn't care about views or any of that. Because it was like, I don't get views, whatever. And I feel like an audience can tell whether you're passionate about uploading or whether you're uploading just to upload.
Totally,
So I feel like it'll actually be better for my channel.
Awesome, and you'll learn some new stuff, so you have more content. I'm sure you'll meet a lot of people at NYU.
Exciting, it's fun. And the biggest thing was, I was content with where I was in LA, / a little not as fulfilled with, I didn't feel like I was challenged. I felt like I grew to the highest point I could grow there at this time. And it was one of those things where it was like, I want my life to be better. I have to do something about it.
Yes. I think that's like a big key to anything, is like, you will max out at a potential wherever you are. And in order to go even further, you have to make changes. You have to, you know, remove yourself and realize that you're at your max. You know what I mean? And then figure out where you can go to propel even further. And this sounds like it's super dope. I've seen you in New York already. You fit right in. It seems like you're gonna be such a New Yorker. In like 6 months, I'm gonna come visit you, and you're gonna be like, have an accent and be all like swagged out. You know what I mean? So
what's New York swag? I thought it's just black.
Well, that's definitely black. Is New York swag.
Lesbian aesthetic too.
Something Yankees is pretty swagged out. And then just like New York's full of Italians, so like just like talking like this.
Oh, I already do that.
Yeah, so I think that's what I mean. Like, you'll fit in. You know what I mean? All right, awesome. So check out Steph. Thanks for. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Go check out Steph. I'll drop all her stuff below. This was really awesome. And listen, if Steph can like move cross country 2,000 miles to a city that she's never lived in, you don't really know. You have a couple of people there, but it's not like you have some big, huge home base. It's not like you know everyone at the college or anything like that. And so just make sure you find out where you've maxed out at your potential and go to the next route. So there's not always going to be a plan in place that's like this, that, and the third. You know, things are going to switch up. You're going to figure out where you really thrive and where maybe you thought you would and you don't. You know what I mean? I hope that Steph will help motivate you. Check her out. And yeah, I'm going to throw some B-roll of just fucking around, because me and Steph like to fuck around and have a good time. So, all right, catch you in the next next one, guys. Peace out.
Bye.